I grew up as a kid with asthma, and when I was a kid, I was a boy in a bubble, and overcoming the asthma and becoming a pro wrestler, and some of the stuff I had to go through, to get into the business, and to eventually, go to ECW and go to the Ultimate, go into the WWE, and then recently, I had a lot of other wild stories in my life where I just, spent a lot of time in the hospital because I had a piece of my lung taken out. I had pneumonia, and it turned into a bacterial infection in my lung, and which turned into a 2-week hospital stay, where they thought they would be able to drain my lung out. What I had was called an empyema, where bacteria and pus films up in the lung. And normally they could just take a needle and stick it in there and drain it out. But by the time they got to open me up and see it, it had diseased part of my lung. And they had to take out 30% of my left lung. As far as my illness goes, as soon as I came out of the hospital, it was kind of humbling to come out of a surgery that huge. They basically opened up my back. They split my lat muscle. They went in through my ribs and took out part of my lung. And the 2 weeks I spent in the hospital were it seemed like one long, very long, annoying day, because they do the surgery and you try to go to sleep, but you got somebody coming in and poking you, prodding you, taking your temperature, taking your pulse, and giving you medicine, giving you pain pills. And by the time you finally get to sleep a little bit, somebody's always waking you up. So in my whole entire stay at the hospital, I maybe slept 2 hours. It seems like. And coming out of the hospital was pretty scary because, I was hooked up to all these IVs, and they had drainage tubes going in through my back, and just getting up and walking was a chore. And to get out of the hospital where I didn't have somebody constantly checking my temperature and seeing, if my blood count was okay, or see if I had the fever, and then walking away from that and go back to the real world, the outside world. And it was pretty humbling. Just walking to the car, walking up 2 steps to go into my sister's house, and then just sitting around and feeling like an invalid, was humbling as well. And through it all, I gotta say, without my girlfriend Tracy and my family, I don't know what I would have done, because the night I was sick, the day I came, I was away on a trip when I got sick, and I came home. I wanted to go to the hospital right away, but I'm a procrastinator. I was like, I'll just go to my doctor. He'll give me medicine. I'll get better, whatever. And I got home, and I went to my doctor, and he gave me antibiotics, and it seemed like the flu. I thought, I just had the flu. So it just seemed like all the flu symptoms went away, but with when the flu symptoms went away, I was still having trouble breathing. It's like, maybe the flu touched off my asthma, and through that, I started coughing, and I was trying to cough up the phlegm, and it just seemed like a normal asthma attack, and I started coughing up blood. I was like, that's not good. It's not healthy to cough up blood, Brian. Go to the hospital, you asshole. So it was a Saturday. I'd come home from my trip on a Wednesday, I believe. Thursday, I went to the doctor's. I tried to ride it out Friday and Saturday, and through Saturday I was sitting there in my living room just, under a blanket with shivers and coughing up blood, and it started getting really scary, and I was like, I got to go to the hospital. And my girlfriend, I couldn't even dress myself. My girlfriend Tracy had to literally dress me, and we called for a cab. The cab never came. I had to wake up my neighbor, Ralph. He came and got me, and drove me to the emergency room, and they're like, you're going to be here for a while. And that's where the adventure began. And, they told me I had some, I had what they call an empyema, and the buildup and the infection in my lung. And it was quite an experience, waiting to go into surgery like that, because when I was a kid, I was operated when I was 2 weeks old, and I don't even remember that. But, here I am, a grown adult, and I know I'm going to get operated on. You always wonder what can go wrong, and luckily, it was a success. But to this day, I still feel the effects from it, from when I yawn to when I cough, and every now and then the left side of my body, from here to here, goes numb, and it still hurts. But I'm just happy to be alive, and happy to have a group of friends who still care about me and love me, because the August after the operation, I was operated on the end of March, beginning of April, and then in that August, a group of friends of mine got together and had a benefit because I had no health insurance. Being a wrestler and trying to get health insurance was almost impossible because, pro wrestlers are such a high risk that, it was almost like a car payment just to get, health insurance. And then, so I didn't have health insurance, and my friends got together and had a fundraiser, and it was a great night. A lot of my friends came out, and I was awestruck at how many people actually came out and cared. And it was a great feeling. And I'm just happy that I get to be sitting here right now in front of you, in front of this camera, telling everybody, about everything I've done with communication breakdown, and how proud I am of the project, and how proud I am that, somebody considered me to actually act in their project, because, I know from being a wrestling promoter that, you have a vision of what you want for your product, and, you can have friends all you want, but, if they don't fit the project, some people could take things the wrong way. And when I was a wrestling promoter, I lost a lot of friends in the business because, hey, I liked them, but they weren't in my vision of what I wanted for the wrestling company. And just, to have somebody have a vision of what they want for a movie and put their trust in me to act in their movie is a great compliment to me, that somebody would trust me in that way. And Communication Breakdown is a great movie, and I'm glad that Richard and Dan took that risk on, just what they have seen from my wrestling, and not knowing whether I could act or not, and I thank them.